Okay, all right, guys. We're sitting down here with Craig Linn of Before You Buy at beforeyoubuy.co.nz. Craig's a building inspector. He's been building inspector for The Block, the TV show, and also My First Home, as well as TV2 show called Homesick. Thanks for joining us, Craig.
No worries, Zane.
Nice one. So we'll just crack into the questions. So yeah, just looking to ask, where does someone find a good building inspector?
Well, first thing is everyone will do is search the old Dr. Google, won't they? So I work myself off word of mouth and with a lot of agents, but you'll find a lot of people will go to the Google and find Google. So when you're looking on the Google, make sure that you open up those building inspection companies, have a look at some reviews, and also check some qualifications.
Yep, awesome. And when in the process is it good to engage a building inspector?
Well, I think if you're a first home buyer or a second home buyer or looking for an investment, I think you should be looking at a building inspector. Absolutely, 100%. It's my old saying, if you go and buy a car, you're obviously going to get a mechanic to have a look at it to make sure that everything is roadworthy and it's got a warrant and warrantable into the future. And that's what we do as building inspectors. We will come in and have a look at your property, and we will give you an idea of what stage it's at, what needs to be repaired, what doesn't need to be repaired, and what can be looked at further down in the future. Because with our reports, we also state in there that something, say the roof, needs to be done in the next 5 to 6 years. So you can plan towards that financially, because that is a big ticket item. We can also say if you're running timber joinery, we can also say, in the next 7 to 8 years or 10 years, this needs to be replaced, or it just needs a good general maintenance program, and we can help with that as well.
Awesome. When someone books a report, what do you look for as a building inspector?
So when you book a report and you find the right company, ring them up, ask them some questions, ask them how long they've been doing it, ask them if you're really green at it and it's your first one, ask them what their qualifications are. You need to find someone that's got a diploma in building surveying or a degree in building surveying or some building surveying qualification, because there's a lot of guys out there just ex-builders and they are doing this as a end of career sort of thing, and really at the end of the day they've only built houses and they haven't actually looked at the ins and outs of the compliances of houses as well. So when you look at booking an inspection with Before You Buy, we will you'll fill out our form on the online subscription, and then we will give you a phone call and we will discuss what you want to look at and discuss your property, discuss what you're going to be spending, so we can help you out and work out whether or not that house is right for you budget-wise, especially if you don't have any money for budget. It could be an investment property that you want to do up, and we can help with that. It could be a first home that you want to buy and you're maxing yourself out to get a mortgage, and we will help you find one that doesn't require much repair or future repairs that are going to see you in a bit of a pickle or a jam in 3 or 4 years' time. So we'll work with you personally on that and help you find the right house.
Awesome. And what's in the actual report that a client gets back?
So Before You Buy reports are what I call simple. So we do exactly what all other building reports do, but we make it simple for you to read. So with Before You Buy reports, you'll only see photos of issues. There won't be 50, 60 pages of a report to read, because you're not all builders and you're not all building inspectors and you don't know all the jargon and the lingos that we use. So I keep it very simple. I'm also, after the report, we'll give you a call and talk through it. Any questions, you feel free anytime, right up to purchase of the house. If you have any questions, we will answer all of them for you. Now, inside the report, you'll find everything from the roof to the subfloor. We check everything, right through the drainage, fences, carports, garages, roofs, inside of roofs, insulations, roof framing. We check inside with our moisture meters. It's invasive, so we're not punching holes in the walls. We'll check all around your windows, your doors, make sure there's no moisture issues. We'll check the outside if there's a sleep out or anything like that that's non-compliant or compliant. We'll add that in our report. But we basically go through everything that you don't look at an open home.
Cool.
Yeah.
And if there's an issue, or if there's a major issue that you come across in your report, maybe even asbestos or something like that, or water tightness, what happens then?
So what we do is we make a point of it in the report. We'll send that through to you, but then I offer the follow-up phone call, and if we can discuss what that's going to be, I'll discuss estimate of costs with you or what it could be. Say there's like like you say, with some asbestos, maybe in the soffits or in the cladding, we can run through some costs on estimate on getting rid of it. I can talk to you about the quality of it, what condition it's in, if it's going to be an issue in 4, 5, 10 years time, we can talk about that. We can discuss anything that we find is an issue. I'll give you an estimate price so that you can work that into your mortgage purchase if you've got that in your budget for repairs. So if you don't have any budget of repairs, I will say to you, go look for another house.
Awesome.
Yeah.
What are the things that you might pick up that a first home buyer wouldn't, such as, possibly unconsented works or compliance issues?
Yeah, so that's a big one. I did a house yesterday who the guy was happy as, he was wrapped as with the house, and I went there, he had a brick facade cladding on the outside, and someone had gone and cut in 2 sets of French doors into one wall on the exterior of the house. And he had no idea that they'd been added in there, but I could tell they'd been added in there. And I told him to go back and check with the property file at the council and check the plans. And he found out that that was actually a brace wall that they'd cut a hole in. So there was an issue with that. So that has a major repair. And he decided not to buy the house after that because there was too much involved in trying to get it done. And once again, he didn't have the budget for repair. So that's something that would have been probably about 10 to 15 grand's worth of repairs. And he was very grateful that we'd picked it up, and he didn't see that at the open homes. Yeah. He also had a sleep out that was on the property, and it was registered, or it was advertised as a sleep out. But when we got there, the sleep out was part of the boundary on both corners of the fence, and it was wired up for electricity. Now, once again, that's fully illegal and non-compliant. So he decided that he couldn't afford to not have that house without the sleep out. So we helped him move on, and he's currently looking for a new property. But that's the biggest things that a lot of people don't see is the compliances. Extra bedrooms put on, or extensions, or decks added, or the main part is cutting in sliders and joinery and creating holes in the external envelope. So as much as people will go ahead and do DIY, or they'll get a registered builder to come in and do it, everything involved in the external envelope of a house requires a consent. So if that work's not done on consent, it won't go onto your property file. Then there's a problem at purchase, the lawyer will pick it up, and then there's a problem trying to work it out, and then they've got to either go down the road of getting a certificate of acceptance to get that passed, and that's 3 times the amount as a consent. So there's all these things that people don't actually realize until we pick it up. So a lot of people go to a house, they won't go up on a roof, they won't look under the subfloor, they'll just look at the outside of the house, and they'll look at the inside and fall in love with it. And then we find huge issues with it. And then we say, right, let's go find you another one. And then they will do that. And a lot of people that work with me on second or third houses, they will send me a link to the property, and I'll say either yes or no, go and have a look at it, save themselves some money with me. And they go and have a look at the property and say, yep, we want to have a look at it. Then I'll go and have a look at it, and everything's good. So that's just another little personal touch from before you buy.
Awesome. So yeah, I guess that's the point. You don't really know what you're buying until you send a builder through to check out the the nitty gritty. Let's say it's a new build. Would you have any advice for people buying new builds?
Yeah, I do. The thing about new builds is they're all under, generally, make sure you do check it, because everything is generally under between a 7 and 10 year warranty from the builder, and that should be legal. So you need to check that. That's the first thing to check. So with that, you think to yourself, okay, well, this house has got a warranty. There can't be anything wrong with it. But with CCC, when the council goes through and gives its final send-off, sign-off, they don't moisture test. They don't check around windows for any leaks. They don't check showers for leaking, apart from a spray test to see if any water's come out of the side of the doors. They don't carry moisture meters with them. They don't go up on the roof. Now, I've found a brand new home for a client who wanted me to have a look at it. First home buyer, was out South Auckland. So I went out there, went up on the roof. All the ridge cappings and barge clappings were faulty. They weren't finished properly. They were short. So I sent the report through to the owner. The owner talked to the builder. The builder rang me. I spoke to the builder, met the builder there, showed him what the issues were, and he replaced the whole lot. But if she bought that house without a building inspection, she would have had huge water ingress problems in probably about 3 to 6 months.
Wow.
Yeah.
Cool. So, let's say someone's done the report. What's the next step from there?
So the next step there is the personal touch from before you buy. Is what we do is we'll send you through the report. Now, if it's a good report, it won't have any photos. And if it's a bad report, it'll have a lot of photos. And that becomes quite daunting to someone that's buying the house. So I invite them to contact me, or I will contact them before I send the report and talk to them and say, right, what do you want to do with this thing? Is it an investment? Is it first home? Have you got money for repairs? And if they say no, then I will say, okay, what I want you to do is go home, look at the report, have a look at all the issues I've picked up, then give me a call and we'll talk through them, and I'll give you some estimates on price and see if you can afford to repair it. And if you can't, then we'll find you another one.
Yeah, great. And to what extent does someone get advice when it comes to future plans or renovations through a building inspector?
So we're there for an hour, and I have a lot of people that want to meet me on site and discuss things and everything. So it's hard for us to stand there and talk design. Yeah. We're there to find faults in your property and work out whether or not it's a good property for you to buy. So we sort of kind of try to draw the line on fully redeveloping the property, extensions. Can we do this? Can we do that? We can do an estimate of work, being an LBP, on what you can do without consent or before you need an engineer. Yeah. So if you say to me on a single story build with a lightweight roof, like a corrugated roof, I want to move this door or take this wall out, we'll have a quick look. They might have a property file on board at the property. We can have a quick look at that and I can say yes or no on the site. We do also consultancy as well, which is something we do after. You can book us for another hour of consultancy, which we can work through and walk through that as well with you and just see what you want to do with the property.
Nice. Awesome. And what does a report cost?
For you, Zane, $1 million, mate. But for first timers or for investors, 3 bedrooms start off at 350. 1 bedroom is 350, and we go up to 385 for 2 bedrooms, 415 for a 3, 485 for a 4 bedroom, and 530 for a 5 bedroom, and anything above the monster 600 squares is generally around $800. But this is my point. You go and spend $1 million on a house. What's $400 to make sure that everything is honky-dory? I say it to everyone. Everyone wants to haggle the building inspector. They always say, oh, you've cost too much money. But I always say, you're spending $1 million and I've gone in there and done a report for you and there's $30,000 or $40,000 worth of repairs. That $400 is hell of a worth it, I think.
Oh, absolutely. I think you're pretty crazy buying a house without a building inspection. So,
Absolutely.
definitely get one done, before you go unconditional. You can build it into the conditions of your contract.
Yep.
That way you're not paying for something that you're not got an offer on accepted already, and you're not wasting money that way. So, a building report is worth its weight in gold. $400 or $500 can save you tens of thousands of dollars down the line. So, definitely.
And that can save. It also saves you a lot of heartache and a lot of financial burden and a lot of stress in families. If you know what you're walking into, you know what repairs need to be done, you know what you can budget on, you know what you can work out if you can get a family member to do it or you need an LBP builder to do it. I can help you work with that. So there's a lot of people out there who'll just get Uncle George or cousin Mark to come in, who's a builder. He'll come in, oh yeah, looks good to me, but we go the extra steps. They don't carry a moisture meter around with them. We find leaks. And if there's a leak, it's more than just repaint. It's more than cutting the jib open. There could be huge issues in there. Could be huge issues inside your shower, under your shower, that are causing you, to replace the shower, pull a shower out, tiled shower, etc. You're looking at 12, 15 grand. Yeah. You got to rip it out, re-waterproof it, re-substrate it, and then put it all back in again. It's big costs. And if you haven't got that, then that money to spend, it's a surprise. Yeah. And a building inspector will find it for you. And then if you can afford to fix it. Or the owner of the house decides, hey, I'll take 10 grand off. Perfect. It all works, but you can't do that unless you have a building report.
Yeah. Surprises are never fun when it comes to buying a house. So, definitely get a building inspector through. Craig, how does someone get hold of you? I'll put your details down in the link and below this video. But how does someone get hold of you if they
Well, it's the old slogan, mate. Before you buy a house, give me a call. That's all in the first three words. Before you buy. Beforeyoubuy.co.nz, or you can catch me on 021 684 696. All the details there. You can fill out a form, and that will come through to me, and I'll give you a call as soon as I receive it, and we can discuss your report.
Awesome. Well, brilliant. Thanks a lot for joining us today, Craig. Really appreciate it. Go on, mate.
All the best.
Thanks.